What would you like to say to each other that maybe you don't say enough, or maybe haven't said before?
That I'm watching, that I'm proud of them. I may not say that enough. That I tend to observe a lot, and I'm looking, and I think I need to say I'm proud of you a lot more, and just I'm thankful and grateful for you being here to share some experiences that I think maybe many siblings in this community or in this city may not get to do. And to be able to be a part of your life as an adult, like instead of like a young man, has been like an incredible ride, and I'm super proud of you.
Okay, thank you, bro. One thing I would say to you that I feel like I don't think say enough sometimes is thank you. Thank you for the sacrifices you have made in life, for me to be where I am today. And I just want to just thank you for everything that you ever done for me in my life.
You're welcome.
This here is my brother, Mr. Jeffrey Rogers. He's an audio and visual teacher here at Cleveland ISD and Cleveland High School.
This is my brother, LaDerrington Bradford. He's a special education teacher here at Cleveland High School.
I've learned a lot from my big brother. I've learned a lot about having ambition. Learned a lot about, having that drive when you really want something. One thing I learned just growing up with my brother is sacrifice. Because that's all he did for us was sacrifice. Even when he was in high school, when he went to college, even now, just sacrifice. He always made sure that we were taken care of. If we needed something, hey, I got it. I mean, he took us to the mall and spent his first check on us. And that was something that I was like, wow. I was like, I wouldn't have did that. But but I'm so glad that he did. But it taught me so much to not be selfish. Don't grow up selfish. As an educator, every single year that you're going through school, you're leaving an impact on somebody. Because whether they finish high school and they move on and they go to trade school, college, or may not want to go that route and just get a job. At the end of the day, they're going to remember something that you told them. You left an impact on that person's life. You actually impacted them and gave them something that they can carry on and share with their children or, their siblings that will help them.
My biggest thing is like just prepping them for life after high school, and showing them and telling them and giving them as much advice and as many resources that they can implement within themselves. I just bumped into a couple of my students that were, I think they're like 25 now. And we were just having a normal life conversation. What you been up to? How's life? What has things been like? Or, hey, I remember when we talked about this and you said that the challenges was going to be here. For me, that's probably the greatest and most joyful thing that I get out, knowing that I'm preparing them, and that when that seed or that information grows later and we can have a conversation, whether it's 2 years later, 3 years later, or 7 years later.
My brother being a teacher has really shaped me because, when I first started as an ICS teacher, in-class support teacher, it just showed me that when I watched him in the classroom and I said, okay, so now I need to take what he's doing and I need to implement it in my classroom, but in my way.
I would say when I go and I see him and I'm looking, and one of the things that he cares, like his passion to be there for his students and life skills. It takes a person with a big heart, a kind heart, a patient heart. Each day is different when you're dealing with kids that are special needs. And so when I see that and I paid attention, I've come down on my conference and just kind of stood in the door and watched. I'm like, okay, I have to remember like to be patient, because I've had tenure in the educational field. He reminds me, hey, still be patient, still be kind, still show them your heart.
Well, I would say it came from my grandpa. Because, our grandpa played a huge role in raising us. And I never always remember, when my papa said, well, I tell you what, when you finish high school, you got about two options. Either you're going to come out here with me in these woods and work, or you're going to go to college. And so I didn't see myself driving no bulldozer, trying to knock down some trees and load some 18-wheelers up. So I said, well, I'm going to take the college route. But one thing about it, though, I can honestly say, when I was seeing my grandpa, wake up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, to me, it showed that was a man who was going out in the community and doing whatever he had to do for his family. And then it let me know the type of man I wanted to be for my family. I want to be that person where I'm able to, get out there and provide.
Adding on to that, think about my grandparents. My grandparents have been married like 59 years. They've been together since they were like 18, 17 years old.
Yeah.
And they have both been servers and providers in their own way. And so for me, that I wanted to like show my brothers like, hey, let's do this. And then it just kind of corresponded into being a teacher, serving and giving to others that are around you. And I think they get a sense of pride of seeing both of us as teachers, and they can brag about us being teachers and know that there is a pathway other than sports to be successful in life and to give to others in different ways and give value. One of the things that makes me proud to be in the educational field is that my grandmother, she always talks about she wanted to be a teacher. And so learning that, and I never knew that growing up. I don't think we didn't know that. And then when we got into the field and she shared that with us, it was like, dang, like that's amazing.